fundamentally to enhance our railways and increase our competitiveness, we obviously need to have investment around our projects. So I think what I'd like to do, and I'm going to start with you, Seppo, just go through, if you can, give me a summary of your current status, your biggest challenges, short to medium term plans, and your proposed projects. You're not really interregional, but you are provincial. So just a quick summary.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. At the current moment, we've got multiple projects. So at the big health rail expansion, and that you might have seen me speaking about it on various interview platforms. That is an additional 180 km of what they call a railway line, starting with the Soweto line, which is phase one of the line itself, which goes all the way to Jamland. And then thereafter we'll run the various phases of that. We're at the point where we've submitted our feasibility study to Treasury for funding, and we are awaiting the outcome for that. In addition to that, you might have had the Premier talking about the Orange project, and the initial phase of that, and the concept study has just been completed. And we are also working on it. But that is a national project that's not out. All we will do is getting it off the blocks and getting it to where it needs to be. Beyond that, we have a whole host of projects, inclusive of reconcessioning the land in itself. So in 2026, the concession will come to an end. And when it comes to an end, we are ready with a new contract in place and to make sure that the following day, on the 28th of March 2026, the commuter will not see the difference. And that's what, in actual fact, they will see the difference in terms of enhanced services rather than it being a downgrading of services. We also have to close the old concession. So that in itself is a huge project. A lot of concessions, when they are built to be able to open up and run. But nobody ever thinks about how am I going to tie this to the boat later on. And that we are unraveling as what they call it as a process. And beyond that, we have the big commercialization plan. Our board has just approved our new strategy. So the stations that you complain about that they have nothing in them, will start getting very alive. So and that is almost an immediate issue that we deal with. We've already seen that we started with services such as DLTCs in our stations and driver's license and testing stations in our stations, and we will continue with bringing on more and more services into our stations.
Your biggest challenges?
The biggest challenges at the current moment, I think one of the big issues is people being able, and as I go from one interview to another, being able to explain the concession model and the funding of what they call it of public transport as a whole. And I'm trying to get people to be able to understand that it's not about the whole train being expensive to run, but it's about us funding public transport for it. Because a lot of the budgets for public transport and the subsidies for public transport are very low. And in actual fact, they do not allow us to do a lot. And in essence, we should desist from talking about, public transport being profitable and all of that, and rather us talking about the impact that public transport brings, and us bringing on the economic development that is required, that is brought and led by what they call it, by the what they call it. But bringing on what we call the shared win, the protecting of our lines and the security of our lines and capital lines is not going to come from us deploying more security. It's going to come from communities actually caring about those railway lines and caring about the services that are on there, and caring about the value, the economic value that those particular railway lines do.
Thank you very much. Next one from Eswatini. You have a slightly different environment. I think just give us an overview and also talk about some of your investment projects, Eswatini Railways, where are we at with that, and your integration?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks, Philippa, for the question. So as a Swatini Railways, we are now just transitioning into a new railways strategy, organization strategy, where we are focusing on the three pillars, which is human capital development, business development, as well as business operational excellence. So these are the three pillars that are underpinning our 2023 to 2026 railway strategy. Why the three pillars? We've realized that obviously with railways you need to have human capital, skilled staff and so on, because railways are bespoke, well, I would say bespoke, but you need a lot of investment, training people and ensuring that they can run a railway. Then the other business operational excellence, we want to make sure that we have systems in place that will favor the customer. So for instance, if a customer has a consignment that needs to be at port at some point in time, at a particular point in time, we're able to track that. I think there was mentioned by Huawei this a transition from GSMR to